Welcome to the NitWits, a weekly roundtable discussion on the Penn State Nittany Lions, now in its 22nd season. Our panel features a longtime Penn State media and NitWits tag team, Neil Rudell of the Altoona Mirror and Mark Brennan of Lions 247 with Fight on State. The NitWits are hosted by WTAJ Sports Director Peter Terpstra, and each week we welcome a former Nittany Lion as our special guest analyst. The NitWits are brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Coldwell Banker Town & Country Real Estate, Blair County's home-a-day realtor. By Courtesy Motor Sales of Altoona, where courtesy means a great deal. By Encompass Health, a higher level of care. Encompass Healthcare. Ask for us by name. By Monarch Cleaners, for all your dry cleaning, carpet cleaning, and rug cleaning. By Reed and Solani Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington. By Allegheny Street Cigar, Allegheny Street Cigar, Blair County's only cigar lounge. By McAleer's Plumbing, specializing in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning, serving our community since 1886. By Freedom RV, get ready to tailgate this Penn State football season with Freedom RV Rentals. By Jethro's, serving ribs, steaks, Italian specialties, and the famous Prospector salad since 1983. Takeouts, delivery, and catering. By Lucky's Beer Distributor. Let Lucky's Beer get you ready for PSU game day. By Remax Results Realty Group, committed to a culture of professionalism, productivity, and exceptional service. By Dorman's Jewelry, the answer is always Dorman's. Fullington Trailways, offering round-trip transportation to and from Beaver Stadium from a variety of locations in State College and hotels in the Altoona area. Gio's Barbecue, award-winning hickory smoked ribs, chicken, and much more. By Star Beverage. No matter what type of weather, we are a convenient drive-through one-stop beer store. By Lions 247 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Sunday.
Welcome to Nittany Nation Overtime.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Nittany Nation Overtime. I am joined, as always, by the NitWits. We got Neil, we got Mark, and our special guest today, Athletic Director Sandy Barbour. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. It's become a tradition that in the bye week I come and become a nitwit.
Nothing wrong with that.
We appreciate you doing it. For sure. Sandy, you're an honorary nitwit. I think you're 6 for 6 during your tenure.
Nice.
So we appreciate you're busy and to come down here to Altoona. Let's jump right in. Following the Pitt game, a lot of feedback about the new traffic configuration. Just like, can you open up and address just how big of an issue you think it is and what you guys are doing?
Well, it is a big issue, and it always has been, and it kind of starts with 7 football Saturdays in State College in Happy Valley are a community asset. And so the game day experience, it starts with safety of our fans. But again, this is a community asset. So as a community, so whether it's obviously intercollegiate athletics, but it's also Penn State Police, it's the borough police, it's state troopers, it's our OPP, it's our traffic and parking and transportation folks from a campus standpoint. It's the faculty and staff that advise, it's the consultants that advise, it's our manpower unit partner that are part of staffing all of that. And it's how do we're trying to put 25,000 cars into a place that's designed for, I don't know what the number is, but it's certainly something far south of 25,000 or 30,000 cars. So how do we make it the best it can be? And over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, it had become progressively more concerning, both the safety of our pedestrians as well as the traffic, the ingress and egress into the venue, if you will. And so how do we make it better? Change is hard. Change is going to come with some missteps, both from our patrons and from really kind of testing the plan. And that's the thing I do feel good about, is that we've had a 3:30 game, we've had a 7:30 game, and we've had a noon game. Now that noon game was Pitt. We know we had a lot of visitors coming from the West. That's always going to be a challenge. And nothing about this is going to be perfect. It's how do we make it the very, very best it can be. What I am really pleased about is we've gotten a lot of feedback, and feedback that is actionable and constructive is really helpful to us. We've made changes from week to week. We'll make more changes going into to our next home game after being away for a few weeks, and we'll get it right.
Sandy, when I went to one of the town halls and they mentioned about using Atherton Street as one of the primary kind of points of entry, at that time, and even until this week, I think, there have been signs all over State College saying avoid North Atherton Street at all costs. And I was wondering then, boy, this sure seems like it's going to be a problem. Did you expect it to be the problem that it was, and how do you remedy that? Because some of us got stuck on Atherton Street and we're too happy about it.
Yeah, and that's part of what our experts, again, our campus experts and our external experts need to take a look at. Again, the infrastructure around this stadium and around this campus is really limited, and so certainly I don't know exactly what those in the know would tell you about you, but it's if you take that out, then you really limit your arteries into the stadium. So I think it was trying to use all assets at our disposal. But again, we're taking our team. Again, campus team, community team are looking at all of the video. They're in the command post high atop Beaver Stadium and actually looking at the traffic and the flip points, the sorting points, I think we're calling them, and where things are getting slowed down and stuck. And so they're looking at the videos and figuring out, okay, where do we need relief and how do we provide it?
Are you guys, is the consultants that help make some recommendations, are they involved still in
They're
this
still
process?
part of it, absolutely, absolutely. So all of our campus partners, again, this is a community asset here. All of our campus partners, community partners, our internal experts, our consultants, all of those are all hands on deck, taking a look at this, and we've shown that we're more than willing to make changes from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3. There'll be more changes and adjustments from week 3 to week 4.
In the position that you're in, do you say, hey, this is a traffic issue and we all have to fix it, or do you start to get involved with the real detailed areas of, like I felt like on Atherton Street, if it would have been all green lights, that maybe people could have been flowing. I realized when you got the Nittany line in on Park Avenue, I think it's done a good job 3 weeks in a row. Really has not, it's been about 20 minutes, even last week, from the Nittany line in designed to get you to park.
Once you make that left.
Right, but it was an hour 45 on Atherton. And so, obviously, you have people from all over, everywhere that were thousands of people out there. So I just wondered, are those recommendations, or to you sub them out to more specific experts?
Well, again, we've got a lot of experts from parking and transportation on campus to our OPP to community assets and community leaders and experts, as well as the consultants that we brought in. Sure, I'm not short on opinions, and I offer those, but I'm also going to leave it to the experts to make the adjustments and help us get this right.
Sandy, you guys tried to get out in front of all of this with the Run Your Route, and you did a good job with that, and you had the town halls, but how much of the issue, in your defense, was that by nature, people wait until the last minute to figure out what they're supposed to be doing?
I think our people did a really good job, some of it in reaction to our marketing campaign, if you will. But I also think it's the challenge of kind of the ebb and flow. All of our season ticket holders didn't come to the first 2 games. They did to Pitt. We had a lot of visitors for Pitt that aren't as well informed, but we have to take all of that into account and anticipate that. Again, I do believe that we'll get better and better as we have fewer people that are trying to run the wrong route, so that we won't have the turnarounds, but we're always going to have some of that, and we have to account for that.
All right, coming up next on Nittany Nation Overtime, we're bringing in the football-focused facilities and maybe even some Friday Night Lights next.
The Nitwits are brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Coldwell Banker Town and Country Real Estate, Blair County's home-a-day realtor. By Courtesy Motor Sales of Altoona, where courtesy means a great deal. By Encompass Health, a higher level of care. Encompass Healthcare. Ask for us by name. By Monarch Cleaners, for all your dry cleaning, carpet cleaning, and rug cleaning. By Reed and Solani Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Welcome back to the show, and we are keeping it all on football for right now.
Yeah, Sandy, on his radio show recently, James Franklin had brought up that the board had approved in May, I think it was, the ability of the university to raise $69 million. And he pointed out that that was just approving the ability to raise it. Now you have to go about generating those funds. And this is for upgrades to Lash Building. Where are you in that process, and how difficult of a process might that be?
Yeah, just for a point of clarification,
Okay.
I think James's point was that wasn't approving, here are the funds,
Here's the money.
Go build it.
You said it better than I did, thank you.
Technically,
Yeah.
it was, they approved our ability to hire an architect
Okay.
to design what we think will be 2 or 3 additional phases. Once the design gets done, we'll have a better cost estimate. We believe it will be in that $69 million range, but the funding plan is completely left up to athletics. And certainly, as we've maintained all along, that we believe that can and should be done from a philanthropic standpoint, and we continue to move. And obviously, the better the team does, the more momentum we have around that. I think the big thing is that Penn State and our donors and our community deserve all the credit in the world for this, have done a phenomenal job of focusing on scholarship endowment. We have one of the larger endowments in college athletics because of that. And now we as an administration, as leadership, have shifted that focus to facilities because that's where our greatest need is now. And it's taken some time for our donors to understand that and to have the case resonate with them. I think we've got momentum around it, and I think that as we get back from the architects what the design looks like for these next 2 or 3 phases, I actually think we'll have some expediency around it.
Now that would be more for Lash Building?
That is all Lash.
Okay.
That is all Lash.
What about shifting to Beaver Stadium, and how far down the road do you think some improvements will be?
Yeah, I think as you know, I talked about this summer at Big Ten Football Media Day, that renovations to Beaver were not in that first 5 years of the master plan, but at this point, because of where we do think it might be down the road, we need to start looking at what would first steps be, how much do we think that would be, and how would we fund it? What are the funding opportunities or possibilities? And we would have to make those decisions before we could ever think about moving forward. So I would say that we're starting to think and look and talk about and maybe do some planning around that.
And you know us, and I actually asked you some of
do
this
know.
at Big Ten Media Days. Everybody wants to know what the timetable even for that is.
Yeah.
And I mean, so you said you're starting to do it now. When could tangible things start happening, I guess, is the key.
Yeah, it depends on how long that lead up takes.
Yeah.
How long for us to determine exactly what it is we want to do, and then to coalesce around a funding plan. Once we get to that point, I think we should be able to talk about actual timing
Dates.
of when we could be in something renovated. Until then, it's really hard to say.
You got another Friday night game coming. This is 2 years in a row. As we look at the Maryland game, we'll make our predictions later. That's a warning. You got running notice.
I got
here.
it. I'm ready.
What about the Friday night? How do you think it's going for you guys?
Well, you have to look at the Friday nights a couple of different ways, and I think if as you sit in the Big Ten, depending on your position as an institution and tradition and history of your football program, you're going to look at it differently. The programs that don't traditionally get the kind of exposure from a primetime game are all for it. The programs that don't need more primetime exposure, like Penn State, it's out of our routine. Our fans don't necessarily like it, home or away. We've stated that we will not do a home Friday night game, but to be good partners from a Big Ten standpoint, we said we would do one away. There's also been a little bit of a change from the original concept. From a conference standpoint, it was, I don't remember the exact number, but it was 6, 7, or 8 a year. That was going to require more participation. Now that number is at least half of that, so I don't see us doing it every year.
Has there been any progress in the possibility of maybe having a Friday night high school game at Beaver Stadium?
Or a Saturday game at Beaver
Saturday.
Stadium.
Yeah,
that
I don't think we've ever really talked about a particular day of the week.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
That's we've said that we have an interest in it, that we could accommodate it based on the schedule, and we've turned it over to the State High School Association to make a decision about whether they want to do it, and if so, who that might be.
There's a local team that is playing at a non-permanent field right now that might be interested. I don't know.
And they have a great team.
Yeah,
great
they do.
program. State College is
Well,
a good partner.
The State High School Association will let us
Handing
know
that
if they
off.
want to take advantage of the opportunity and who it'll be.
All right, coming up next, new faces, new events, a little rapid fire coming at you around Penn State athletics next.
The NitWits are being brought to you by Allegheny Street Cigar. Allegheny Street Cigar, Blair County's only cigar lounge. By McAleer's Plumbing, specializing in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning, serving our community since 1886. By Freedom RV. Get ready to tailgate this Penn State football season with Freedom RV Rentals. By Jethro's, serving ribs, steaks, Italian specialties, and the famous Prospector salad since 1983. Takeouts, delivery, and catering. By Lucky's Beer Distributor. Let Lucky's Beer get you ready for PSU game day. By Remax Results Realty Group. Committed to a culture of professionalism, productivity, and exceptional service.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Welcome back to the show. We have Penn State Athletic Director Sandy Barbour still with us. Again, thank you for coming on. We're going to hit on a bunch of different topics, a lot of stuff going around Penn State Athletics.
Well, actually, it's not just Penn State Athletic Director. It's Vice President now.
That's right.
And I've never seen that title. I was just curious. Well, congratulations on the extension.
Thank you.
And I'm just curious how the new title it evolved, or what's significance of that.
You're seeing that more and more across the country, and I think it's for me it was important and desirable because I think it makes a statement about the place of athletics within the university. I sit on the president's cabinet, and I do think that athletics has a level of engagement, dare I say, importance, that I sit around the table with a bunch of vice presidents, and Dr. Barron and the board felt that that was an appropriate title.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's always moving parts in the off seasons, and
Is
when it
there an
comes-
off season?
Okay, sorry. When it comes to hiring coaches, the women's basketball program obviously has a strong history. Bringing in Coach Carolyn Keeger, what do you expect from her? What do you see from her? Why was she the right pick?
Well, I think we've already seen it. Just a lot of energy, a renewed shot in the arm from a community standpoint. We'll get a chance here very quickly to see as they ramp up practice. She's got a number of new kids, new student athletes, but our holdover, if you will, student athletes have really been reinvigorated. Looking forward to seeing them step it up a level. I think we're going to see a brand of really exciting basketball. I think certainly this first year we might be throwing it around the Bryce Jordan Center a lot, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to take some time for her system to take hold, for us to have a couple of recruiting classes that have been recruited to her style of play. But again, I think we're going to see a very different team with even our returning student athletes on the floor come this November.
I wanted to throw something a little different at you that isn't necessarily on the script. Jeff Nelson retired recently, and he's been a great conduit between you and between us. Not a lot of people are able to walk that balance between being friends with us and doing the job that he has to do. And I was wondering what he kind of meant to you in your stay here.
Well, first and foremost, Jeff and his entire family are just, what incredible human beings, and just a lot of fun to come to work and work shoulder to shoulder with. No one cares more about Penn State than Jeff Nelson, and a consummate professional. Jeff was one of the few people that knew about my hiring before we sprung it on everybody that Saturday morning, and so he was one of the first couple of people that I interacted with in our athletic department, and I think that kind of made for a special bond between Jeff and I. Certainly for me and from my perspective, he'll be greatly missed.
Yeah, and now he's grown a beard.
Oh,
so as soon as he's out, that's it.
that's I guess that's what you do. All right, coming up next, we're moving on from the bye week. Penn State is getting back to Big Ten play. We'll take a look ahead next.
The NitWits are being brought to you by Dorman's Jewelry. The answer is always Dorman's. Fullington Trailways, offering round-trip transportation to and from Beaver Stadium from a variety of locations in State College and hotels in the Altoona area. Gio's Barbecue, award-winning hickory smoked ribs, chicken, and much more. By Star Beverage. No matter what type of weather, we are a convenient drive-through one-stop beer store. By Lions 247 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Sunday.
You're watching Nittany Nation Overtime.
Welcome back to Nittany Nation Overtime, and before we get to anything else, let's bring up the Nitwit of the Year standings so far through 3 games. Penn State got a 7-point win over Pitt. I was able to get my first football. Go me, right?
Yeah.
Happy for that.
Good job, Peter.
We're going to get right into predictions. Of
Good
course,
job,
Penn State's
Chris
playing.
Owens. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, Maryland Friday night game. I have picked low-scoring games up in this point. I'm going the opposite now. Maryland's been inconsistent. I'm not sure really what to expect from them, but I'm just going to pick 38-3, which was the score last year.
That gives us
So there we
plenty
go.
of room to
Right?
operate.
Boy, does it ever. I guess I'll go next.
Yep.
Listen, Maryland, when you watched them against Temple, really struggled against the pass rush. They're down an offensive lineman. I think after the way Penn State's D-line played against Pitt, where I don't think they would probably admit they didn't do as well as they would have wanted to, you're going to see them really get after the quarterback. I think Penn State wins 28-17.
Okay, I'll try to stay off you. This is a big game for Maryland. They got Loxley back. It's a Big Ten opener. Obviously, they got caught peeking ahead against, I think, a pretty competitive Temple team after Maryland put 60 on Syracuse. So it's going to be a big night down there. Penn State, I think, still has some things to prove. I'm going to say Penn State 29, Maryland 22.
Cool. Sadie, you don't make picks,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we
what's
operate.
really quickly, when you go to these away games, how much fun do you have? Or is it more of a grind because you're dealing with all the alumni?
Well, I mean, these are business trips.
Yeah.
Certainly, and I'll be in Washington D.C. on Monday, Tuesday at a conference. We'll be visiting some alumni in the area, and then I'll meet the team on Thursday night at the team hotel. For me, this one has got a little extra added engagement. I'm from Maryland. I'm from Annapolis, so there'll be lots of folks for me to see and reconnect with from a family and a personal standpoint as well.
Sandy, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we know
My
this wasn't the
pleasure.
easiest week
Always.
to do it too, and we do appreciate coming every year. Thank you.
Always
All
look
right.
forward to it.
That's going to do it for our show. That was Nittany Nation Overtime. And again, thank you for Sandy for coming on. We'll see you guys next week.
The NitWits are brought to you by Irwin Financial, Raymond James, a firm foundation for your financial future. By Coldwell Banker Town & Country Real Estate, Blair County's home-a-day realtor. By Courtesy Motor Sales of Altoona, where courtesy means a great deal. By Encompass Health, a higher level of care. Encompass Healthcare. Ask for us by name. By Monarch Cleaners, for all your dry cleaning, carpet cleaning, and rug cleaning. By Reed and Salaney Orthodontics, providing friendly, family-focused orthodontic care in Altoona, Bedford, and Huntington. By Allegheny Street Cigar, Allegheny Street Cigar, Blair County's only cigar lounge. By McAleer's Plumbing, specializing in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning, serving our community since 1886. By Freedom RV, get ready to tailgate this Penn State football season with Freedom RV Rentals. By Jethro's, serving ribs, steaks, Italian specialties, and the famous Prospector salad since 1983. Takeouts, delivery, and catering. By Lucky's Beer Distributor. Let Lucky's Beer get you ready for PSU game day. By Remax Results Realty Group, committed to a culture of professionalism, productivity, and exceptional service. By Dorman's Jewelry, the answer is always Dorman's. Fullington Trailways, offering round-trip transportation to and from Beaver Stadium from a variety of locations in State College and hotels in the Altoona area. Gio's Barbecue, award-winning hickory smoked ribs, chicken, and much more. By Star Beverage. No matter what type of weather, we are a convenient drive-through one-stop beer store. By Lions 247 with Fight on State, your online home for Penn State football and recruiting coverage. And by the Altoona Mirror, featuring Penn State Game Day every Friday and Penn State Extra every Sunday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.